In recent years, Cambodia has no longer been known as a land of wonders or a peaceful coastal paradise on the Gulf of Thailand. Instead, in international headlines, its name is increasingly associated with one grim phrase: a global scam hotspot. Hundreds of thousands of victims, hundreds of heavily guarded compounds, and billions of dollars flowing through digital wallets. Behind those high walls lies a dark underworld of human trafficking, forced labor, and cyber fraud. Amid this shadowy network, one name has shocked the global public: Chen Zhi, also known as Vanat Hun Sen, head of the Prince Group. Far from being a figure lurking in the dark, Chen appeared before the public as a successful businessman, often seated beside Cambodia's top leaders and hailed by local media as a model investor bringing prosperity. Yet this very man is now sanctioned by both the US and the UK for running a global-scale online scam network, generating billions of dollars and detaining thousands of people under inhumane conditions. This raises a disturbing question. How could such a figure operate freely for so many years without being touched? And why, despite Western powers accusing him of money laundering, human trafficking, and fraud, has the Cambodian government remained silent? Many observers believe the key lies in Chen Zhi's deep ties to Cambodia's power elite. He was appointed as an advisor to Prime Minister Hun Sen and was once a close confidant of former Prime Minister Hun Sen, who ruled the country for nearly 4 decades. In Cambodia's system, the honorary title, Nik Ok Nha, granted to Chen, is more than a decoration. It represents both political and economic influence, a passport into the elite circles where business and power intersect. When the U.S. announced its sanctions in early October, a staggering 146 entities had their assets frozen, many of which were part of the Prince Group's vast ecosystem. The U.S. Department of Justice accused Chen of running a massive underground financial machine that laundered over $15 billion through cryptocurrency transactions. What's shocking is not only the scale, but also the audacity. Everything operated openly through lavish buildings in Phnom Penh, grand opening ceremonies, and the presence of high-ranking officials. If the allegations hold true, Prince Group was not just a corporation. It was a perfect facade where organized crime and the image of economic development were intricately woven together. Experts on transnational crime suggest that the Prince Group acted as a financial patron for political power, granting Chen near immunity from investigations for years. When reports surfaced of forced labor in compounds in Sihanoukville or Phnom Penh, local authorities often responded with mere administrative checks. Meanwhile, his companies continued to be praised as symbols of international investment. The deeper one looks, the more pressing the question becomes. Is this a case of government incompetence, or a deliberate arrangement where economic interests outweigh justice? Photos of Chen standing beside Hun Sen at public events, from urban development inaugurations to charity galas, now resurface online, taking on new meaning. After the sanctions, one particular photo of the two men smiling and shaking hands went viral, no longer seen as a symbol of cooperation, but rather as a reminder of how deeply intertwined business and political power are in Cambodia. Observers note that Prince Group has long served as a key sponsor in government-backed development and charity projects. Such an enterprise cannot fall without destabilizing the entire system. Thus, Cambodia's silence may be less about ignoring global outrage and more about maintaining internal stability amid ongoing power transitions. Yet this silence comes at a cost. Cambodia's international image is deteriorating rapidly. Global media now label the country a haven for cybercrime, where thousands are imprisoned in compounds masquerading as tech firms. Human rights organizations claim that many of these facilities are located on properties owned or managed by Prince Group or its partners. If true, can the government really plead ignorance? Economically, Chen is a strategic investor bringing in billions and large-scale projects. Legally, however, he stands accused as a mastermind of digital crime. These two conflicting images coexist within one man, and disturbingly, appear to be accepted by the system. This blurring of boundaries leads to a haunting question. Where does the line between entrepreneur and criminal truly lie in Cambodia today? Between 2020 and 2024, thousands across Asia became victims of so-called pig butchering scams, elaborate fraud schemes operated from compounds tied to Chen's network. Many of the workers involved were themselves victims, trafficked and coerced into deceiving others. According to United Nations reports, more than 250,000 people are being illegally detained across Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar, with a significant portion linked to the Prince Group's operations. Witnesses claim that while local police are aware, they rarely act. When inspections occur, the camps are often warned in advance or disguised as legitimate offices, fueling suspicions that officials may be receiving benefits from such corporations. Cambodia is not the only nation struggling with cybercrime, but it is where such activities are conducted most openly. And somehow, Chen's name still appears at political events, still listed among top sponsors, as if the allegations were nothing more than unverified rumors. In the days following the US and UK sanctions, Cambodia's muted response drew international attention. Instead of decisive action, the government's reaction was cautious, even silent. Analysts note this hesitation likely stems from Chen's status not only as a businessman, but also as an advisor to Prime Minister Hun Sen and a close confidant of former Prime Minister Hun Sen, who ruled the country for nearly 4 decades. Regional experts argue this delay reflects the complex web of ties between tycoons and politics. For more than a decade, Cambodia's economy has depended heavily on private conglomerates like Prince Group, where the line between economic and political power is increasingly blurred. It is not uncommon in Southeast Asia for powerful investors to double as political influencers. The Nik Ok Nha system, which rewards large financial contributors, further deepens this entanglement. As a result, many now wonder, are Chen's ventures merely business or vehicles for deeper hidden interests? International media note that local Cambodian press has remained unusually restrained. While Western outlets repeatedly name Chen and detail the accusations, Cambodian newspapers have largely erased him from coverage. Some see this as an effort to protect national image amid political transition. Others view it as a sign of tight information control, common in centralized systems of power. Experts on transnational crime argue that the Chen Zhi case reflects a broader reality in Southeast Asia, where private conglomerates act as bridges between money and authority. They can bring investment, jobs, and development, but also open the door to shadowy financial flows and untraceable deals. Analysts warn that if the allegations are proven true, this scandal could shake the very foundations of Cambodia's growth model, which depends heavily on foreign investment. Yet confronting such an influential figure may prove nearly impossible amid a network of overlapping interests. For now, the region watches Phnom Penh closely. Some believe justice will prevail once the evidence is undeniable. Others fear it will fade, like many scandals before, lost in the haze of forgotten outrage. Either way, the Chen Zhi affair has left a permanent scar on public consciousness. It forces one to ask, in a world where power, wealth, and ambition are tightly intertwined, does truth still have the strength to be seen? Or perhaps the most terrifying thing is not the crime itself, but the silence surrounding it.